on duty as cops. Like I said, they were on duty as the 4 lone security guards for the game, for the event. Well, when they saw the T-shirts the Minnesota Lynx were wearing, they found some way to just completely misinterpret the content and the text on the shirt, and took extreme offense to it. I don't even understand how you could, as a police officer, take offense to a shirt that's asking everyone, not pointing a finger at anyone, specifically, just asking all people to come together to change what's happening, and then having a tribute to the fallen police officers on that shirt. Like, it boggles my mind and frustrates the bejesus out of me that all 4 of these officers were able to find a way to take extreme offense to this shirt, which should not in any way be offensive to a police officer, not in any way, shape, or form. But they did, no matter how much it doesn't make sense to me, that is what happened. And their response to how they were going to deal with their being offended by the shirts was they all decided to walk out and not do their duty as security for the game. Now, to top it all off, when it was all said and done, and everybody knew what had happened, and people were being interviewed for comment, and it's the big news story, the chief of police in their department said that he, and I quote, commended them, end quote, for the stance they took, and that if the team's going to come out, and make a statement and, act on their beliefs, then the cops have every right to act on their beliefs. What? Are you freaking kidding me? And then, to top it all off, he'd closes with an unnecessary, completely classless dick move, jab at the team, and goes, well, it didn't matter. It was no big deal. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but it didn't matter. It was no big deal that the 4 officers left. They draw pathetic, and that's why there was only 4 security at the game anyway, and that wasn't even needed. And again, I didn't quote that exactly, but that is what he said. And that's the message and the gist of what he said. Now, this obviously is the element of the story that has just got me as fired up internally as I'm capable of being about, something that's not really close to home in my inner circle, family related, that type of thing. If they're going to act on their beliefs, then the police have the right to act on theirs. No? Since when? That's not how freaking law enforcement works. That's not how swearing an oath works, I'm pretty sure. And I'm pretty sure that all police officers swear an oath to protect and serve, and I'm pretty sure that in that oath, when they swear it, that there is no inclusion of detail regarding the freedom of choice based on their personal feelings and beliefs towards a civilian, whether or not they have to fulfill that obligation to protect or serve, at which point it becomes a personal choice for them. I'm pretty sure that the oath to protect and serve is not given the optional when and who. Okay? You don't get the option of who you get to protect and serve or when you get to protect and serve. If they are an American citizen, you protect and serve them. Okay? And even if they are a suspect for a crime, they are still an American citizen who has not been convicted through our legal system of any wrongdoing, and thus still need to be protected and served until said protocol and point is reached, where they are left no other choice in sole regards to self and surrounding preservation of life. Now, granted, like I said, they weren't on duty as cops, but they were on duty as security guards. Okay? So, to just bail out on that, and when you're wrong on what you're mad about, well, I'm mad at you because you said this. Well, but that's not what I said. That's exactly what happened here. The cops freaking tantrumed out like little babies, like little freaking toddlers, because they were too stupid to understand what was being said, and thus took offense to what was being said, and stormed off and completely showed no integrity, no dignity, no understanding, no tolerance, no professionalism. Just the list goes on and on. It's one of the most disappointing stories. It's as disappointing of a story to me, in just where we're at from a human relations standpoint, as all the others that have come in, minus the element of death, obviously, but it's such a sad and perfect example of not only how far away we are from any change or anything getting better or any improvement, but also of the fact that, as hard to imagine and accept as it may be, it is far more likely that things continue to get worse before they get better. I'm not saying they won't get better. I'm just saying it's highly unlikely that they don't continue down the current path, progressing, into more frequent and worse events, before things finally get better. This is just a perfect example. And the explanation for that, because my brain hasn't been able to, think about too many things for too long, other than the state of humanity, for the last week or so. And the biggest problem comes in our own insistence to choose a side, and not only that, but to view other people, everyone else in the whole world, as being on a side, and then to take it the final step of any side that is not on my side is my enemy, is against me. Breaking news, people. It is completely possible for a person to be Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, all at the same time, all in one person. Okay? But there's this whole just messed up thing in our society right now where no, you can't, I can't do that, you can't do that, nobody can do that. There's, if you say Black Lives Matter, or express any sort of grief or sympathy for a black guy getting murdered unnecessarily by a police officer, then you're anti-cop. Um, and vice versa. That if then, when in retaliation, um, more chaos ensues and cops end up on the dying end, if you come out and say, Blue Lives Matter, then you're, anti-black people. I mean, it's insane, and that's just the two most obvious, easy to understand examples. Um, People aren't made up that way, but we're all for some reason compelled into choosing sides and labeling other people in sides, what side they're on. And any side that's not the exact same as mine is wrong and my enemy, and I need to be against and oppose. It, it's just such a frustrating time to be a human being right now. We are actually managing to devolve as a species. And since it's a sports talk show, and I've probably gotten too more political than I should have anyway, but I have to close out this thought. Um, and then we'll move on to more sports related topics. It, the more I think about it, the more I can't help but feel like it feels like we're all being played, because we're all choosing a side, and that's where we lose. When we fall into the trap of actually choosing a side, and then having these things that are anti our side. Just by in choosing any side, we lose. And so I don't even bother to wonder and contemplate, well, who are we getting played by? It doesn't freaking matter who we're getting played by. Because as long as we're capable of being played this way, at some point in time there will always come along a person powerful enough, smart enough, and compelled enough to play us. So we need to find a way, as a species, as people, as human beings, we need to find a way to to remove that element of ourselves that allows us to be played. Now, I can't sit here and pretend that I have all the answers, or know exactly how to do that, or that that's easy, or anything. But what I am certain of is that today, right now, the way the world is, the way the country is, the way life is, the way people are, the more to a side that you get, the farther down an extreme to any side that you get, the more you're contributing to the problem, and the worse things are going to be for you and for everybody else. We all need to find a way back from the walls that are as far on our side as we can get, that we're pressed up to and clinging on to. But we need to find a way away from that and back towards the middle, and as far away from all sides as possible. I don't know how exactly to accomplish that. I don't know if that's even realistic, especially on such a mass scale that